Hello and welcome back to Today in the NBA, where today I'm going to be going over the San Antonio Spurs past regular season, what they've done in both the off-season and free agency, looking at what they could do for the rest of the off-season, and looking at some possible outcomes for the next season. So to start off, the San Antonio Spurs finished with the worst record in the West, 15th seed, 22-60, same record as the Houston Rockets, but the Houston Rockets did have the tiebreaker over them. The San Antonio Spurs, they weren't a great team. They did lack a lot of direction, and you could tell that they were really just tanking to get Victor Wembanyama, but it did pay off. They did manage to get the first overall pick, and overall, I think it was probably a good season for them, considering they got what they wanted. Anyway, taking a look at the Spurs depth chart, starting, we have Tre Jones, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sochan, Victor Wembanyama, and then off the bench, we have Cameron Payne, Malachi Branham, Reggie Bullock, Chetty Osman, and Zach Collins. So I just want to talk about the starting lineup for a bit. It's a really, really nice lineup filled with great players that are all very, very capable 3-and-D players. Well, hopefully Victor Wembanyama will be. Chances are he will be. We all know how amazing he's going to be. But we haven't really seen him play on a proper NBA court yet. It does remain to be seen. Tre Jones, pretty solid defender. Great playmaker. He's pretty solid at running the pick and roll. And he's got a great mid-range game. Jeremy Sochan, pretty good defender. He's very switchable. He's a surprisingly good passer for a power forward. He does need to work on his shooting a little bit, but with an off-season under his belt and getting more adjusted to the NBA, hopefully he will be able to work on that. Victor Wembanyama, we all saw how he went in the Summer League, absolutely dominating defensively. Offensively, he was a bit slow to start with, but he did sort of heat up, and in his last game, he was really, really good. He did only play 2 games though, so it was a very small sample size. Devin Vassell, he had an amazing season last year. Shot the ball so well from both the field and from 3. I could honestly see him averaging 22, 23 points a game next year on pretty similar shooting splits. Keldon Johnson, another great player. They're both great defenders, Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell. Keldon Johnson probably a little bit better, but Devin Vassell's probably a little bit better offensively. Keldon Johnson's great at getting to the rim, and he's a pretty solid 3-point shooter. Honestly, I can see a lot of Bradley Beal in this game. Probably won't ever get to as good as Bradley Beal was, but who knows, maybe in 3 years' time, he could be an all-star. It does remain to be seen. Off the bench, I honestly don't know how long Cameron Payne is going to be starting at the point guard. My hot take for them is that Julian Champagnie does end up being their backup point guard next year. Who knows, he may even be starting. He had a great summer league showing. He was absolutely amazing, scoring the ball very, very efficiently while also being an above-average playmaker and defender. Malachi Branham had a great season last year for a rookie. Reggie Bullock, Chetty Osman, both free agency pickups, both great players, solid veterans. Chetty Osman a little bit younger, he hasn't got too much playing time earlier in his career, but I can definitely see him being a great 3-and-D player for the Spurs next season. And Zach Collins, a great backup centre. He is able to shoot the 3 ball pretty well. He's probably a little bit of a below average rim protector and defender on the perimeter for a big man, but still, in some lineups alongside Victor Wembanyama, I can see some terrifying stuff going on. What I can't wait to see is a Tre Jones, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Victor Wembanyama, Zach Collins starting lineup. I think that will be terrifying offensively, while also having good defenders like Keldon Johnson and Jeremy Sochan to back them up. Honestly, I think the Spurs are going to have a great season, and as with the Rockets, I could see them making the play-in tournament, but I could probably see them making it more as the 7 or 8 seed. Even though there is so much talent in the West, I am still very, very, very high on the Spurs. Now, to rate the Spurs off-season, I'm going to be giving them an A+. They did manage to bring in Victor Wembanyama. It was the obvious pick, but still, it was the right pick. It was really solid. I like the Tre Jones contract. They got him on some good value. I think it was 2 years, $20 million, or it might have been 3 years, $30 million. I know he's on about $10 million a year, and it's pretty solid value for him, especially considering he is a younger player. The Cameron Payne pickup out at the buyout market, it was alright. I don't really know how good he's going to be. He's not really someone that you want to be your lead guard off the bench, so hopefully he does end up getting moved out of the rotation for maybe Devontae Graham or Julian Champagnie. I love the Reggie Bullock and Chetty Osman free agency signings. Actually, I think Chetty Osman may have been brought in on a trade for maybe a second round pick. Either way, both great picks, both great 3-and-D players. Chetty Osman having some solid potential on that end. Now, I honestly don't think that there is any moves that the Spurs want to make or should be making for the rest of the off-season. I love the direction they're going in. They've got a great rebuild going with someone that could be their star player for the future in Victor Wembanyama. They've got some good, solid veterans, good, solid players that will be able to contribute to the team and be good mentors for the younger players on this team. Along with that, they just re-signed Greg Popovich, or sorry, I think they extended him. I think it was 4 more years, not 100% though. Coach Pop, he's a great coach, the absolute perfect coach that you want to be developing Victor Wembanyama. He's developed players like Tim Duncan and David Robinson, both first overall picks, with Victor Wembanyama being next in that line, and hopefully Wembanyama follows in their footsteps and becomes another one of the greatest players of all time. Now, I do just want to talk about Victor Wembanyama for a bit. I think that he will come in and be an amazing player for the Spurs. I do think he'll win Rookie of the Year, and I do think he'll be in the conversation for an all-defensive team. He probably won't make it just because of all the great centers out there, all the great bigs, actually, that are great defenders, but he is looking like he's going to be a generational defender. He has great defensive instincts, great timing, but what I think is that he's probably going to be a little bit of a letdown to most people on the offensive end. I am by no means, however, saying that he will be a bad offensive player. I think that he'll be great. It's just that some people expect him to come in, shoot 40% from 3, 50% from the field. I don't think he's going to be doing that. Last season that he had with the Mets 92 over in France, he did only shoot, I think, 30.9 or 31% from the field, maybe high 29s, can't quite remember the number off the top of my head, but he was a below average 3-point shooter. I know a big part of that was the incredibly tough shots that he was taking, and some of them he was making too, but I just don't know if he is going to be able to replicate that sort of shot making immediately once coming into the NBA. I think he's also a little bit skinny at the moment. Everyone knows that he's a little bit skinny, but he should definitely be able to pack on some muscle. I just think that in his rookie season particularly, he is going to struggle driving to the rim a little bit. He is going to be getting knocked off his spot a little bit more while driving. The NBA's physicality is a little bit decreased from over in the European countries like France, where he played last year. So it will take a little bit of him getting used to. I don't know if he's going to get that many foul calls just because he is a little bit skinnier. And when he does get hit, the refs might think it's just because he's skinny. But who knows? It could be completely different. He could be amazing. It's just that I want to temper everyone's expectations a little bit. I don't think he's going to come out and average something crazy like 25 and 10. I think a more realistic number for him is maybe 18 to 19 points and then 8 to 9 rebounds along with 3 assists. He did look like a great playmaker in Summer League, which wasn't something that we saw a lot of while he was playing for the Mets 92 in France. I think he'll be a great defender, probably averaging a block and a steal a game, maybe even 2 blocks, who knows. But I think probably I could see him shooting 46, 47% from the field and then maybe 31% from 3. He is going to have good lead guards around him, good perimeter players that will be able to find him the ball for open shots, and he definitely is able to knock down open shots. He won't have to create on the perimeter as much. Hopefully he does get in some post-ups, but I'm going to trust Greg Popovich to do what he does best and coach the team to the best of his ability, develop Wembanyama the right way. Now for my player predictions for the San Antonio Spurs next season. I think that Victor Wembanyama will win Rookie of the Year. I also think he'll make all-rookie first team, obviously, but that's all I really have this team doing. I don't think they're going to have any most improved player candidates. I also don't think they're going to have any all-defensive player candidates. Julian Champagnie I could see actually in the running for most improved player. Probably won't win it. It's a very, very, very hard award to predict, as it's usually a player that you don't expect, comes out of nowhere, becomes a great player, and just wins the award, as we saw last season with Larry Markkinen. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave it a like. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think I'm wrong about Victor Wembanyama? Do you think he's going to come in and be amazing? What do you think about the Trey Jones extensions? And if you really enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I do post daily NBA content, so it is worth keeping up to date on. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.